Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our call. What is today, actually? It is April 6th. I'm a little bit sad and sorry, by the way, for us not having calls for a couple weeks now, but I'm excited to get back into them. And thank you guys for all being here. This call is going to be a little bit different. The first half, I'm just going to share a couple of tips on how we can all minimize distractions, because the majority of our business is run through social media. So for me, mainly Facebook. And I just wanted to share ideas for you guys on how to, sorry, I'm muting everybody, on how to minimize distractions, because, oh my goodness, it can be so easy to get just stuck in the news feed, to want to respond immediately to any notification that you see, to every single message that you get right away. I mean, it's so easy to get distracted. So I want to share a couple of ideas that I kind of started to have today to help us minimize distractions and stay focused when we're trying to work the business. And then after that is all done, Laura is going to do her BAT, or Business Activity Tracker, call of the week, because it is Wednesday night. Tomorrow is Thursday. We get paid on Thursdays, and our weeks restart on Thursdays. So the best way to go about tracking your business is to go from Thursday to Wednesday. So I will shoot it on over to her once I'm finished so we can talk about what she wants to say. All right, so I'm probably going to end up sharing my screen just to kind of show you guys a couple of things, but who here do we all have smartphones? I think most of us do. I would imagine, given the technology today, most apps are on Galaxies or Samsungs as well as iPhones. But I do have an iPhone, so I guess I can't necessarily promise that certain apps are going to be available to non-iPhone users, but I believe that they are. So a couple of apps that I would highly recommend are, there's a Facebook Groups app and a Facebook Pages app and Facebook Messenger. So the reason why I want to recommend these to you guys, which I kind of like randomly, this was like a light bulb moment. I totally had a light bulb moment today. I was thinking about how I need to keep up with posting in my challenge groups, but I can't even tell you how many times my full intention when I logged into Facebook was to post in a challenge group, and then so many other things happened, and then hours have gone by, and I'm like, shit, I didn't post to my challenge group yet. Because I get sucked into the news feed, the notifications, and all that jazz. So if you get the Facebook Groups app, it's actually really cool. I'm going to try. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. When you open it, it looks, can you kind of see that? Like, all of my groups are these little bubbles. So instead of going onto Facebook and potentially getting sucked into the news feed and notifications, if you just go into the groups page and go straight to your challenge group and you post from the app, then you're not going to get stuck in all of the news feed notifications and all that stuff. So that is one tip that I have for you, which most of this stuff I haven't actually even started yet, but I kind of was just trying to come up with ways, and this was one of the ways that I figured out. You can also have access to your team pages through here, any trainings that you're doing. So again, you're away from the newsfeed when you're in this type of thing. So, and Laura said, oh yeah, you can also make your challenge groups your favorites, and then they're at the top. Oh yeah, I did actually do that. Awesome. And you can see notifications on there too, but it's way less distracting. So that's the groups, which I highly recommend. And then Messenger, again, same idea. If you're logging into the Messenger app instead of Facebook, you're going to be focusing on the messages, focusing on who you want to message, versus getting distracted by the news feed. You can go back and look at old messages and see if, scroll all the way down and be like, oh, I want to start up a conversation with this person again, and just shoot them a quick message right from your phone. Again, minimizing distractions and keeping things separate from Facebook. And then the other thing is Pages. Pages is an app that basically links to your like page. So if you want to be consistent with posting on your like page, if you go through the app, like if you have a list for yourself, like you want to post in your challenge group, send out messages or post on your like page. If you go like boom, 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 and you go to the apps instead of through Facebook, like you haven't even opened Facebook yet, get all that stuff done. I have a feeling this is going to make me a lot more consistent with being able to keep up with that stuff without being distracted. So again, I haven't actually tried any of this. I just kind of thought of it today, but I figured I'd share that with you guys. Another thing that iPhone users can do, I'm not sure if Galaxy users can, but actually, let me back up a little bit. One of the things that they talked about in the Diamond training that I'm in right now is how you need to not only set business hours for yourself, which I've known for like years now, which is weird that I can even say that because I've been doing this for 2.5 years basically. But I've learned so many times you need to set yourself business hours. All of our schedules are differently. My business hours would be different than yours, but to have set business hours, it makes it so your mindset's a little bit more focused on the fact that this is a business. You need to be putting the time into it, and you need to be putting focused time into it. So when you look at your schedule, certain people, their schedule never changes. Every week is the same. So your hours might be the same constantly. But for me, my schedule is all over the place. So I have to adjust my business hours weekly, which I have not been doing. So that's like one thing that I really need to start being better at. And then to start using those apps instead of going onto Facebook to be more focused in what you're doing, I think will actually help a lot with getting all of your Power Hour items done in a quicker amount of time. But another thing is, I don't know about you guys, but my phone, I don't ever have it on silent because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. But when you are having your focused business hours, like right now my phone's buzzing, so I'm going to shut it off. If you are sitting down and you're trying to be focused, you're trying to work your business, the last thing you need is for this to start buzzing, for you to see a notification pop up on Facebook when you've been trying to avoid it, for text messages to roll in, phone calls, whatever. So on an iPhone, I don't know if many of you guys know this, but you can actually set it to do not disturb, which means if someone texts you, calls you, if a notification happens, your phone is not going to buzz or light up. The only time you're going to see that is if you click the little home button, and then things will like populate as if they would have normally. It's just that your phone's not going to light up, buzz, make a sound, nothing. Or you can even put your phone in the other room if you want to. It's another thing if your phone is unable to do sleep mode, or I don't know. But that's something that I know I personally definitely need to start doing, because this is another thing that distracts me a lot. Even though we will be using the apps on here. So of course, while you're doing that type of stuff, but once you're on your computer being focused, minimizing distractions with your phone, being off in do not disturb mode in the other room, whatever it is you need to do so that you can get everything done, and also so that you can get it all done in a shorter amount of time. Like we don't want to be stuck taking all day to get the stuff checked off on our whole checklist. Like we ourselves want to be more concise with getting everything done in a shorter amount of time. We want to show others how they can do that, because, one of the things that a lot of people will say when we talk about the business opportunity is that they don't have time. So if we can figure out how we can get all this stuff done in a shorter amount of time, if we can figure out how to be focused and do more in less amount of time, then we can share that with others, then we're going to help more people be successful, more people be open to the idea of it, more people to believe that they can fit this in their busy lives too. So that's definitely something to be aware of and something to start working on. And I'm probably one of the worst people, so I need to work on this too. Oh, another thing. So I'm going to share my screen right now. My screen's probably, I have so many things open. All right. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. Sorry, I don't want my photos right now. All right, I want to show you something that I found someone taught me once. So for example, let's just actually use this. So this is our team page. This is a post that I put up and a couple of us have commented on it. So let's say, here's a good example. So on Thursdays, rank advancements happen. You know, there's a lot of recognition that goes on. So one thing that we like to recommend coaches to do is to go into the team pages, welcome new coaches, congratulate coaches that have ranked advance, all that stuff. But I'm sure you have noticed when you do that, your notifications blow up like mad because everybody else is doing that. So you might post, you might say congratulations to someone who ranked advanced, and then 15 or 20 other people might say it behind you, and you're getting the pop-up notification every time that happens. And again, that's distracting your attention. It's making you want to click on that little notification button to see what it is, and then you're all kind of out of whack again. So what you can do, if you welcome someone or if you comment on a post and you don't care what happens after that, if you click this little arrow at the top, you can turn off notifications for individual posts. So what if I didn't want to see what anyone else said on this post, I would click turn off notifications for this post, and then I'm not going to get a notification for that. And that, I'm telling you, is huge. Another thing, and I usually recommend, especially newer coaches, like our team page, I try not to blow it up too much, minus today. I try not to blow it up too much with posts. And I don't think, I mean, I think we're growing, but I don't think our page is necessarily overwhelming. But Fit Mama, Rockstar, like a lot of people post in those pages, which is fine, but it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially for new coaches. So let's say you added someone to Fit Mama, but you didn't want them to get overwhelmed, or you feel like they would get easily overwhelmed. You can tell them to shut notifications off for that group. And the way to do that, see in this group right up at the top here, it says notifications and there's a blue check mark. If you click on it, you can change that to highlights, in which case, honestly, I'm not really sure what that's going to show you. There's a little question mark. Friends posts and suggested posts. So that's kind of probably going to pop up for random stuff. You can have it as friends posts, so only people that you're friends with you'll get the notifications about, or you can turn them off completely. I would recommend that people turn off Fit Mama completely, at least at first, so they're not, I mean, again, this is totally up to you guys. Sometimes you can read people and you can get a vibe that they would be excited and be okay with it, or that they might be like, oh my gosh, this is too much right now. So, use your discretion, or just give it as an option. And that is how you can show people to do that. So the same thing you can do, not that you want to shut notifications off in your trainings, but you can basically do that in any group that you're in. So if there are certain groups that you don't want to get notifications for, but if you care what's in there, you're going to click on that actual group. Like Fit Mama, I have the notifications off, but right over here on the side, you can see there's 14 things apparently that I haven't seen since I last went to Fit Mama. So, there's other ways that you can see what's going on in there, but just to kind of, again, minimize the amount of times your notifications light up. So that's that. What else did I want to say? I think that's actually pretty much everything that I came up with today, at least. Yeah, I think that was everything that I wanted to share. Let's see. Does anyone have anything they want to add? Oh, here, Lauren. Lauren said she was working at the coffee shop yesterday, had to put money in a meter. Oh, she set a timer and worked so much more efficiently because it was concentrated. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. And I like that you said that, actually, because my sister and I, when we were in nursing school, we used to go to Panera because we couldn't study at home, because we would get too distracted. Like, you can come up with so many things you'd rather do than study, obviously. So we would go to Panera. And I mean, there's still distractions that you can get from people watching and all the noise and stuff like that. So I'm sure there are certain times of day when you maybe won't want to do that. But that's not a bad idea if you feel like you'd be more productive actually putting yourself in a library, at Panera, at a Starbucks, somewhere where you can sit down and like Lauren said, use a timer on your phone so that that buzzer is going to go off. And what you can even try to do too is literally make it so you have this hour, and when that buzzer goes off, you have to stop. And if you make yourself stop, and then you can't work on your business anymore, and you didn't get everything done, I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty pissed at myself, and that would make me want to work harder next time I did that. So that's another idea too. And I'm sure there are tons of ways that we can keep learning more and more ways to minimize distractions, but those were just a couple ideas I had. Does anyone else have anything that they've done that's worked? I think you can unmute yourselves.
I started having to put myself in the kitchen instead of sitting in the living room where my laptop usually is. But that way I can at least look out the slider.
Smart. That's a really good idea. And actually, I used to do all of my work on the couch myself. And I recently kind of like remaneuvered where my desk space was. But I definitely am more productive when I'm sitting at my workspace, which is my like little desk. I have like sticky notes. I have like motivation stuff. I have my whiteboard with names on it, and it definitely helps me want to stay focused. And I have a lot more reminders, like something that says, action cures fear is what I wrote on my little whiteboard. If I look at that, I'm like, all right, let's go. So little things like that, but
Dave's gonna build me a Murphy desk.
What was that?
Dave's gonna build me a Murphy desk. You like pull it down from the wall and then you fold it up when you're done.
That's awesome.
That's genius.
Because we have a tiny ass apartment. It's like so small.
That's such a great idea.
Do you guys use the custom groups or lists that you can use on Facebook? Do any of you use those? Or because I can show you an example.
Like the data download?
What's that?
Like the data download?
No.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like you can make a prospect list, but I can't remember how to do that actually. Do you mind showing us real quick?
Yeah, I can definitely show you. Let me just see here. Whoa, now I just lost you. You're totally gone. I have no idea where you are.
Well, you're still on, so we're somewhere.
There you go. So let's see. I will. How do I do this? Share my screen. Okay. Okay. So you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Oh, I see Lara.
Ow! So I have active customers, new connections, my coaches, and then this is just like Beachbody coaches. So if I want to, you talk about minimizing the noise on Facebook. If I want to go in and see what are my customers doing, I can just click on this link, and these are people who I know, and I can just
go. Oh my God.
Just them, what they're interested in, what they're doing. So it just kind of really streamlines it. Same thing with here's my team, and I can just go and quickly scan through and go, okay, oh, this is awesome, and be able to just simplify searching for them.
Yes.
And the way that you do this, you go down here, and it's a list. So you go, let me just think here.
Don't you like edit your news feed or something?
I'm in my news feed right now, but let me just think here. I have to think about how I do this. No, I go to my news feed. Come on. Why can't I get to home? Okay. and I go down here. It's not a new group. I go to my friends and look at friends
Yeah.
and just create a list.
Now, can you make them come up in a different priority?
Yeah. So here I'm going to do Embrace. And I'm going to add Ashley and Laura and Jackie. Who else is in here? Katie. Who else is on our team?
Renee.
Danielle. No. Oh, there she is. Erin. Well, she's on my team, but and Susan. So now I do this. They're still down in my friends list, I think. And I have to just go over here and say add to my favorites. And now I can just drag it up here.
Holy shit. Mind blown.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so glad you reminded me how to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know why I can't organize this though.
If you go to the little circle right next to Embrace, click that, and then you can rearrange.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, thank you. That is a great, great, great other way to do it. And there's also something that I think Renee asked about it, and Laura had commented. I think it's literally called Kill Newsfeed. I haven't.
Yes, it's in Chrome.
Is it in Chrome? I have Chrome actually now, but I haven't looked into it. Honestly, I'm a little bit afraid of it.
I know, right?
So I'm
I
trying
need to kill my newsfeed.
trying to do other things first, but anyway,
Well,
thank you.
One of the things that I'm using those lists for, so I created a new contacts list. Oh, I should have showed you that too. How do you add people? So I did like a new connections list. So when I send a friend request to somebody and then they say, yes, you've accepted your friend request, I'll just go immediately to their profile and click on add them to my new connections list so that I will pull that up and look at it and just make sure to connect with them and engage with them right away instead of waiting 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, that's so genius.
So,
Way to go. Yay. Does anyone else have anything they want to add? That was totally awesome. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Where did you find that?
you know what? I knew that from years ago, and I don't even know why, but I set up a list for my family because I just wanted to be able to just quickly look when my kids went off to college and see what they were doing and creep on them really easily. So I set up like my family list, and then I was like, oh, I think I can use this more efficiently for work, for this to be able to stay connected. And I think they actually talked about it at the Super Saturday down here 2 or 3 times ago. And it's like, oh, yes, it's good.
I originally used it for the opposite reason. I have a do not post list for
Mhm.
people that are either like my bosses or my clients for my day job because I really can't market to them from a legality standpoint for work. And then one day I was like, oh, I could be using this in a positive way too, not just from the negative perspective.
All right, well, I guess we can turn it over to you, Laura, for the back call.
Really loud. How do I mute people?
Hang on, I don't know. Can you manage participants at the bottom? I can do it.
No, I can't.
All right, let me.
There.
Okay, everyone's muted but me, so I am turning it over to you, and I'm going to mute myself.
Awesome. All right, so we're just going to use tonight as our final BAT roundup for this round of training. And you guys have seen my BAT now a zillion times, both in my videos and the last couple of calls. So I'm asked in the group, and both Lauren and Katie volunteered to show theirs, knowing that they're not perfect in any way, but just to kind of give you a different perspective on what people are doing with their BATs, maybe how you've customized it a little bit differently than mine, and how you're using it, and then any questions you have that you want to sort of crowdsource or ask the group about. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of give you guys an update on what the plan is going forward. And then at the end, once they've kind of given their BAT presentations, we can loop back. And if you guys have any questions or additional feedback on what you'd like to see going forward, I'd love to hear that as well. So I have sort of taken this first round of training as a pilot of sorts and have been taking notes for myself on what I felt worked well in the training group, what I felt didn't work well, what I'd like to see more of in the future rounds of doing this. And I know we had said we were going to keep this group open, but I think I'm going to close this group and start a fresh one. And that one will stay open ongoing, and it will be just a little bit more planned out and deliberate the way we engage going forward. So I think it'll give people a chance to join that haven't joined yet. I'm going to remake my videos and make them a little bit more succinct because rewatching them was painful. But I think it'll be a good practice for me to sort of redo everything, reformat everything, and get things really structured going forward. So to those of you guys that did participate, thank you so much. It was a great learning experience for me. And it also, I think, was helpful for those of you that did participate to be able to get that information. So the only other thing I'll say is we invited another team. Hey, Amy. We invited another team to join us in that training. Sarah Turcotte's team, who is also part of the Fit Mama organization, her team has been asking a ton of questions about BAT, and she and I were talking about it, and I was like, why don't you just join us? So there'll be new faces in there. I think it's great from a collaboration standpoint to have fresh ideas, some new people in there asking questions, sharing their BATs and their experience. So it'll be a bigger group. I'm going to start it next week, and it'll be the same thing. Monday through Wednesday will be videos and training and interaction, and then getting ready to kickstart the work week, the Beachbody work week on Thursday. So that's the process. If anyone that isn't in the group, and I'll post in Embrace to make sure everyone has a chance to join. But if anyone on your teams is ready to start, get them into the new round. And that's it. So I will turn it over. I don't know, Lauren or Katie, who wants to go first, but if one of you wants to share your screen and tell us what you've been up to and what you need help with.
Well, I unmuted. Katie, do you want to go first? Or I'll go.
I couldn't figure out how to open it. Sorry.
So I have actually, I'm trying something different this week because what I found is that the BAT in that format, I want it to work so badly because I love Excel, but I was just having trouble managing the names of the people I was keeping track of. And I tend to work because I try to fit a lot of my work in during the day, and I just work in these like small little pockets where I have 10 minutes, and it's just until I pull it up, and then I forget who did I talk to, and did I meet enough people or talk to enough people. And so I actually just set something up using Wunderlist, and I'm gonna pray that this is a little bit better for me, and I think it will be because it's accessible on my phone easily. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna share with you here. Like I said, I haven't gotten far enough in it to really see, but I set up, this is just my template, and this is, I'm showing you on my computer, but I have, so here's my Be Proof. Go in, drink your Shakeology, and work out. I can check that off for the day. This is my template that I copy every day. This is my one for today. And like you can see, I don't have a history. I just started it today. But I show you what I've checked off already. Check the COO, Be Proof. Same thing. My group posts, there should be a note in here. Group posts. So here I've got Summertime Dreaming is a challenge group that I'm running with 2 other coaches. The 4 Vitals is the group that we're in as coaches. The Diamond Dash, I haven't been there yet. Good Life Sister Community is my evergreen group, and I posted. Facebook posts, I try to keep track and have themes. So every day I do, my 3 posts would be Proof the Product Works, personal development, and what's good life is my thing. And I have little things here to remind me about what I might want to post. And then I have a call to action Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, which that's not going to happen today. Personal development, I did that so I can actually check that off. I love that little chime. And I just the same thing, follow-ups. So I'm following up here. I wrote my note. I talked to Michelle. Tonight I'll go into my streak and update it. When I've done that, I'll check it off. Friend requests. Here's 2 that I sent. I'll add them to my requested friend list in streak. New conversation started. Goose egg. Inviting to try certain products. Again, I'm not doing very well. I'm busy. Well, whatever. No excuses. Check-ins. Checking in with my challengers, my inactive customers, new customers, success partners, and my evergreen group, Good Life Sister Community. It's the only place I was today. I have Fire Inside, Embrace, and Fit Mama. Check in with my team, and I've done pretty well, but I need to go and update and streak tonight that I've done these different things. And then in streak, I kind of have this as the reminder to go in and check my share cycle, which is just I have my streak set up to say like who I'm forming with, who are my hot conversations. I've got a couple different pipelines, so this is my reminder to go check there and see is anybody lingering for more than say 5 or 7 days in a certain category, and if they are, then I'm going to try to reach out to them. This is going to take me a while because I've got a lot of cleanup to do. And I kind of tried to put these in order of importance to me because I feel like I'm going to try to use this as my power hour guide too. So when I have a little time, I can just go in, start at the top. Instagram is low on my list of priorities, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post something, and then I'm going to try to find people by searching for I need a job, pudgy, diet woes. They're like my little triggers to keep finding people who are posting those, and I'll keep adding to that list. Streak, those are the different places where I'll check in on my different pipelines and then go back and update based on these, make sure I'm capturing my names. And I needed to put this here because it's April and I haven't done a single thing with my finances for all of last year. So I'm going to start reminding myself every day. So I'm just trying this, and it's going to be a daily bat instead of a weekly bat. And I'm going to just copy it every morning. And the nice thing is, like I said, I have it on my phone. I can access it on my work computer, on this computer, and everything syncs up. So I'm hoping that it works a little bit better because it was clunky for me the other way. So
Yeah, no, I think this is awesome. And I think that's exactly sort of the goal of all of this is for people to find what works for them. The Beachbody corporate template that's sort of in a PDF works for some people because they print it out and they just carry it with them in a notebook. I didn't like that. I liked Excel better. You're taking it and using Wunderlist. So that's a good example of sort of making it your own, as long as you're getting in those vital behaviors and you're getting in the pieces of business building that you need to do. I don't care if it's written in chalk on your ceiling. It's just got to find a way that works for you to get it done. So that's awesome.
yeah.
I'd be interested to see how it works. You've got to update us in a couple weeks.
Yeah, thanks. I will.
All right. Katie, you want to share?
I've been using the spreadsheet, and here we go. Let me share my screen. How the hell? Okay. I think that's how I do it. Can you guys see everything? All right. So I kind of highlight in yellow what I really need to work on. I took Laura's template and ran with it. So I'm doing the different quote every week. I've got my rank goal here, all that fun stuff. I'm tracking my proof of the product, tracking my personal development. I've been kind of slacking this week, but so I try to check in with Ashley once a day, or Laura, or Jackie. And then, so my big thing is, like, I'll pick a different thing to work on each week, and I just highlight it in the yellow. Like, so my invite game is super weak, and I really need to work on it. So that's kind of my goal here for the week. I haven't really done much with it, but that's the plan. Pretty straightforward. And then Laura did give us that second side over here with all of your contacts. So these are people that I've been like really active with, that have either, you know, liked to post, sent me a message, things like that. And then I'm keeping some notes over here. Like I have one coach that's inactive, and I'm trying to go back to active and all sorts of stuff.
Awesome.
That's really it.
That's great. That's a great start, and I love the idea of highlighting your weak spot or your goal for the week. That's a really good idea. I might start doing that. Good way to kind of call it out. The thing that you're working on. Awesome. Good job.
Can I share mine real quick? No, I'm not allowed.
Of course.
It's not filled out according to what I did, because again, I'm like awful at going back and actually plugging in what I've done. But these past couple of days I've been trying to. But I just wanted to show, because I thought of something else to add, and I didn't know if anyone else might want to add it too. Whoops, hang on. All right, so here's the bat. So I added recognition,
Mm-hmm.
because that is now the fourth vital behavior. I literally like just added, so I didn't even like say what I want to do with it really yet. But just as a reminder to be thinking about who you want to recognize, whether it's, I mean, I have in here like an Embrace team member, but I will probably even add in challenger. So like maybe once a week or something to highlight a challenger in your challenge groups and, you know, congratulate them on all their hard work or something, just to kind of even, like, I think our challengers would really benefit from recognition as well as us as coaches. So that's one thing that I put in here. What else? So I totally love that this is here, but for some reason last night, I like couldn't wrap my head around this. So I totally started, this is like crazy, but I totally started this over here with like a ton of names. Everything that has a date near it, it means that I reached out to them. All the other ones, I'm planning on it. So I have a section for new conversations. So people that I haven't really been talking to that I want to start conversations with, and then follow-ups, people that are already customers or that are maybe someone, I don't know, someone that I have kind of been in and out of conversation with, but I want to keep conversation with, people that I'm going to invite to challenge groups, which clearly I need to work on that. And then people that I want to invite to the coaching opportunity. And then I kind of left like little sections for what we're talking about. Are they interested in Beachbody? Yes or no, maybe, whatever whatever it ends up saying. But that was kind of something that I just did on a whim and put down a ton of names, because kind of like what Katie said, my weakest spot is inviting too. So I need to not only get better at inviting, but I need to clearly get better at having conversations with people, because I want to just be, I want to be building relationships. I don't want to, I mean, yes, it's okay to sometimes do random invites, but you know, the main thing is we want to be building relationships. So I'm hoping that that's going to kind of help me push myself more to just start conversations with people, you know? So anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely that second tab, again, make it your own, blow it out. You can change those. So the colored categories that I have in my tab are very specifically from Bob Lucito's sharing cycle, which you can change the words in there. If you don't like hot 10, whatever, you could just change them to forming, invite, like you could, whatever you want to put in there. Or you can blow it out the way Jackie did. Definitely make it your own. It's a matter of how you want to track it. And I was messaging with Jackie and Lauren earlier, but in next week's BAT training, I'm going to do a unit or maybe two, depending on how much research I do, on contact organization, and want to show Excel, Streak, which we talked about briefly in one of our calls in the BAT group early on. And then there's a couple other ones out there as well. So I want to give people options, and maybe Wunderlist is one of those too. There's different ways to manage your contacts and who you're contacting and who you're having conversations with, etc. So it really is a matter of what works for the individual. The goal is that you're doing it, and it doesn't really matter what form it's in. So find what works for you and play. I've probably played around with 5, going on 6 or 7 different formats since I started this business, and I don't think I've landed on the perfect one yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting better, but it's not perfect yet. So definitely play around with it. It's funny you were talking about the having more conversations and building relationships with people. I feel like I've been thinking about this a lot this week, and I feel like I'm getting a ton of mixed messages, not in a bad way, but I don't know, for those of you that are in the Diamond Dash that listen to that Unemployed Millionaire talk, he's like, just be clear with them up front why you're contacting them, be authentic, tell them that you're talking about Beachbody. And I'm like, I never do that. Like, I have these like month-long conversations with people and then have trouble turning it to Beachbody, because now I'm like, now they're going to think I'm an asshole because I was, talking about, the kids for a month. And now, like, how do you then turn the conversation? So I think it's a balance. I don't think every single person you need to come out of the gate with, I'm contacting you because I think you'd be great as a coach, or you'd be great in a challenge group. But I do think there's something to be said with being somewhat authentic about your intentions with people, and not just trying to like get to know them just to make the sale. So that's something I'm practicing, is like being a little bit with, especially my cold market, being a little bit more direct with people and kind of cutting to the chase a little bit.
I totally agree with what you just said, because I feel, and I actually almost talked about that too, because like legit, he was like, hey, haven't talked to you in years. I know this is totally out of left center, but I have this new business. It's growing like crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, that's so aggressive. And I think I actually was thinking about that too, because I'm like, because then we listened to Janelle's training today, and she said how we're like a people business and a relationship business, and we want people to trust us and to, we want them to know that we really care. So I think kind of what Laura, like, I agree with what you said. I feel like there are definitely certain times where, like, maybe when you're thinking about talking to someone and you go to their newsfeed and you see that they are into fitness, or they have something that pops out, and you're like, okay, this person, I feel like I could be, boom, straight to the point. But then other people, maybe based on what you're seeing in their newsfeed, you might be like, all right, I'm not really sure how they would feel about it. Let's find out a little bit more about who they are, or something. Or like based on your past relationship, if it's someone back from high school and you remember them being, into sports or liking to work out or whatever. But I totally agree. I think it's definitely a balance. I think it's worth trying it both ways, just so we can find out. That's kind of what this is too. It's a little bit of trial and error, seeing what works for us, what doesn't, seeing the vibe we get from people when we ask certain things, certain ways. So, but I do still, even if you do flat out ask somebody something, again, like what Janelle said, at the end of it, put in something a little bit more personal or friendly or whatever. And then, obviously, depending on no matter what they say, keep the conversation going so that it wasn't the only thing it seemed like you were looking for. But anyway, Lauren, it looks like you wanted to say something too.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if you all know this, but I'm a fundraiser that's what I do for a living. So I go out and I ask people to donate, major gifts to the school, and people will say to me all the time, I don't know how you do that. Like, how do you ask somebody to make $1 million gift to a school to just like write a check? And it is absolutely 100% all about building relationships. But I always try to be clear with people, like, yeah, I am a fundraiser for the school, but like, I'm not here to ask you for a gift today. I want to get to know you, and I want to see what your interests are. And if your interests align with what we're doing here, if there's a way for us to match that up and it's going to bring you joy, I'd love to be a part of making that happen. And I really think about Beachbody in the same way. I think there are times when I think about somebody and I'm like, this would be a really good thing for them. And I can genuinely and very authentically call them and say, I thought of you, and because I think that this is something that really you might enjoy. I think this is something you might appreciate. There's no pressure at all. And if you tell me no, no harm, no foul, but I thought of you, and I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in hearing about it. And that I've definitely said that about the business opportunity. I say, I think this is an amazing business opportunity. And I will tell people all the time, I care about you. And I love these products so much that I want every person I love and care about to be thinking about it, and to at least for me to have extended the invitation to them to be a part of it. It's like not is kind of selfish. And that's the way, like I've started thinking about it that way. Like I'm really mad at myself. I have 2 older brothers. They're 62 years old. And I have not invited them to try Shakeology yet. And I'm really it dawned on me yesterday that I haven't asked them. And they both need it. They both have health issues. And shame on me. Like they're my brothers and I haven't asked them to try this yet. And I don't care if they say no. And I'm not asking them for the money. I'm asking them because I love them. And I think if we think about building relationships, I think the whole idea with starting all these conversations and being faithful about starting new conversations is that it will come up. It will come up when it's supposed to, and when it's there, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? Isn't that how the saying goes? So be there, be present, and be real, and share what's going on with, and it will happen. And I think the whole idea of starting the conversation is not to make a quick sale, but to build relationships so that you'll get there. You get there, and I believe that with my fundraising, and I have to believe it with this too. That if I'm only thinking about, I've been struggling because I keep hearing this, like Success Club is a non-negotiable. Well, you know what? Unless I'm going to buy that challenge pack for every person, it is a negotiable, because I can't, just like I can't force somebody to write a check to the college, I can't force somebody to say, today's the day I'm ready. I'm just going to keep telling them, and I'm reminding them and inviting them. And they know that I'm coming to them from an authentic, caring place. And that's where I'm going to live. So it might take me a while, but I'll get there.
I couldn't agree more, Lauren. And I've struggled with that exact thing. That whole Success Club is non-negotiable. I never say it to my team. I find it kind of icky. I get it if you're trying to be, trying to make this a full-time job. It's trying to be, then you kind of have to go that route, but that's not really where I lead from. And I loved that Janelle's a superstar diamond twice over, I think, or maybe 3 times over now. I can't even remember. 3, yeah. So obviously she's very successful, but her final step in her training was help them anyway. Mm-hmm. And so she was basically saying, if they say no, if they can't afford it, if they don't want a challenge pack, help them anyway. And it was like, that's exactly right. That's exactly what it's all about. I have people in my Evergreen group that have been in my Evergreen group for over a year, have never purchased a thing, will probably never purchase a thing, and that's fine. They find value in being there, and they're happy, and I support them the same way I support people that have been on HD for a year. I mean, it's just, they're people.
Yep. That's why I freaking love this team.
Okay, we digressed a little bit from the BAT stuff, but does anybody?
Sorry.
No, I think that was awesome. I mean, that was
Yes,
valuable. And I think Jackie's point about recognition is kind of what led us there, and I think that was awesome as well. So, does anybody else that hasn't had a chance to talk want to show anything about their BAT or have any questions about the BAT or anything we've talked about? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'll be honest, I've been terrible this week with my BAT. It's empty. I just got a new computer, so my files are still on 2 different computers, and my BAT is on my old one. So I definitely see the value in it. I love is it Wunderlist or Wunderlist? Mm-hmm. Wunderlist. I had never heard of that, but I love that. Thank you for sharing, Lauren. I'm going to give that a try, because I think I'm kind of like you. I'm like in and out. I'm on my laptop sometimes communicating. I'm on my phone a lot. I'm in and out of the house. So I think being able to update that list from wherever I am, my phone or my laptop, is going to be really helpful. So I like that a lot. Thank you for sharing. So hopefully I'll have more to share. I'll definitely have more to share next week. But this week I was a slacker.
No problem at all. Well, I am going to leave the existing group open till Sunday. So if anybody does have questions or feedback, ideas, things they want to see in next week's training, throw them in there. And then I'll close that group and start a fresh group on Monday with the expanded audience. And we'll start fresh, and it'll be a good, clean start for everybody. And we'll have a bigger group, so it'll be fun. Yay! Oh, and just a reminder to everybody, we're going to do coach sneak peek, a team-wide coach sneak peek for anybody that wants to be part of it, 4/19 through 4/21 in a private Facebook group. And then the night of the 21st, which is a Thursday night, we're going to do an hour-long webinar to close it all off as a Q&A. So I've asked in the team page, and I'll remind people, I'm going to put together a team video for anyone that wants to participate. I'm just asking for a short video from everybody, like 10, 20 seconds, answering the question, I coach because. Just record yourself saying, I coach because, and then whatever your answer is. And, variety is better. So, and I'm going to put all that together, and that's sort of going to be our welcome. I think it makes it more personable for the people that we're adding than to just give them a stock video. I'll share some of the stock videos from Beachbody as well, but I think that would be a good way to start it out. And then once I create the group, obviously we can start inviting and adding people to it. I'll do that this weekend as well.
Awesome. And I think we should also, if anyone in our team too has any good before and afters that we can share too, definitely post those maybe in the same feed as when Laura asked for the video, or we can start a new one. But because I don't know, we're going to talk, Laura, I feel like we should maybe try to meet too and go over, I'd be happy to come to you or something, and we can talk, discuss more about setting that up. But one of the things that, yes, the webinar will be the 21st on the Thursday night. One of the things that has been in the Blitz, the Coach Blitz in the past, the one that they bombard you over the hour, which is super overwhelming, is a section with before and afters. And I like that it was people from the team. So I definitely think that would be super valuable if we could do that too. And then does anyone else have anything they want to say about the sneak peek?
I'm going to put an outline, a general outline I'll put it in Embrace so that people can see it. And if there's anybody that has a particular topic that's on there that they're I'm super passionate about this, I want to post about that, or I want to record a video about that, have at it. I think the more voices and faces and different people we can hear from in that group, the more dynamic of a team we're going to appear to be, the more the people that you put in there are going to see your face. So it shouldn't just be me or Jackie kind of in there preaching to everybody. It should be as dynamic as possible. So feel free when I put that in there to either add a topic that I didn't touch on or grab one of the topics and say, hey, I'm going to do that one. Totally open to that.
Yes. I love it.
Jackie, are you going to Sarah's on Sunday?
I am.
All right. Well, we can chat about it then.
Yeah, cool. Yay! Wicked random. Well, first of all, is there anything else anyone wants to say before I totally get random right now? I mean, it's not really that random, I guess. So I was just obviously scrolling through Facebook like a psycho today, getting distracted. And I saw, I don't know what made me stop about this, but someone in, I think it was the Beachbody Challenge group, which has a bunch of coaches and stuff, asked something about Instagram. I honestly don't even remember what they asked, but something stood out to me in the comments where someone replied where they suggested, so when we post on Instagram, one of the main things you want to use on Instagram is hashtags. That is how people find you. But, now I remember. This person was asking, what's up with all these random Instagram follow requests that I'm getting? It looks like a lot of them are fake accounts, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of, because that happens to me. So that's what attracted me to that. And then I looked in the comments, and then I think her name is Jennifer O'Connor or something. I've seen her. I know she's a coach, but she suggested instead of using hashtags like 22-minute hardcore, hammer and chisel, 21-day fix, Shakeology, Beachbody, like all of that stuff, use hashtags that relate to who you are and what you're trying to, like the message or what you're trying to attract. The people that you are trying to attract, use hashtags like that, even if they're not totally related necessarily to the post that you're making, because she made such a good point. She's like, people with these fake accounts purposely target Beachbody, or like they look for those hashtags and then they will follow you, and it's like wicked annoying. It happens to me too. Like I'll get these accounts with like naked girls in them practically. I'm like, ew, no. And then I'm like blocking them. Like, I don't want that. But sorry, that might have been inappropriate.
You don't like naked girls, Jackie? Come on.
But like, yeah, like there's gross ones and they're like, video me or what, like I don't even know what it's called, whatever. But it totally made sense. And she's like, that's how you want to attract followers that you want to be working with. So I just wanted to kind of randomly throw that in here because that totally changed the way that I will now be thinking about hashtagging things.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while, and that's thanks to Shailene's Instagram Academy. Maybe at some point on a team call, I can do a little like rundown on what I've learned from her academy, because she's gold, and she's basically like, I love you, Beachbody, but I never mention a thing in my hashtags about Beachbody. Like she's not. She's like, that's all. She's like, don't mention product names, don't mention brand names, don't mention proper nouns, saying things like that. It should all be things like, think about what people would search for. Think about what you search for when you go. Like I loved Lauren's in her little wonder list. Like they were all things that people would naturally search for, like not things that like you think like, oh, Shakeology. No, people aren't going to search for Shakeology that don't use Shakeology. So you got to think about what people would search for if they were looking for hashtags and you want to come up in their feed. So
yes, that would be
I
awesome.
just said that because you just reminded me of a question that I've been meaning to post in one of the groups.
Oh,
I see a lot of people putting their posts, but then doing all the hashtags in like a comment.
yeah.
yes.
Is that like strategic? Like, should I be doing that?
So Shalene actually talked about that in a podcast, I think. And she said, if you put your hashtags in the comments, you can like go back to a past post and you can delete that comment and re-hashtag it with a new comment, and then it bumps your picture
Okay.
back up. So like, let's say one of your hashtags was beach or something. If someone were to go on Instagram and type in the hashtag beach, your picture would be, fairly at the top, depending on how many people are hashtagging that. But then eventually it's going to be like miles down. So if you delete that comment and re-hashtag it, you're bumped back up to people's search engines or whatever.
Yeah.
At least that's my understanding.
I'll have to look at one. I don't know. That's what my understanding was too. And then Candace did that lunchtime call with that guy who's like an Instagram guru, and he said that Instagram was getting wise to that and had stopped allowing that to happen. And so what he does is delete his entire post and reposts it. Like he deletes the picture and and then reposts it. So I don't know which one is smarter, or maybe Shailene does updates to her Instagram Academy. Once you're a member, you get all the updates. So I'll have to go back and see if any of her recent updates mentions that change, because she's always trying to keep up with the changes that the format's doing. So maybe in like a couple weeks, maybe after the Coach Blitz, the week after the Coach Blitz, I'll do a little Instagram Academy breakdown.
Thanks. That's really great.
That would be awesome. I've been dragging my feet on Instagram. I don't know why. I personally don't use it that often. And I think it's just because I'm not as familiar with it. But do you guys find that you're getting a lot of traction on Instagram?
I'm just starting to, and I didn't have an Instagram account before I became a coach, and I didn't have it the first year I was a coach. I didn't know anything about it, and it terrified me.
Yeah, that's me.
I've been like slow, and so for a while I'd like post like once a week and then forget about it, and then so now that it's in my BAT, I remember to post. But playing with the hashtags thing and playing with how to who to follow and how to like get in touch with people. And recently I've been private messaging people and getting messages back. So I haven't actually made a sale yet, but I've got some actual active conversations, and I've gotten people to come over to Facebook, you know, because it's easier to sort of interact with people on Facebook. So I'm getting there, but it does take a while if you're not used to the platform. So my advice is just to start posting a lot and playing with the hashtag thing and worry about getting in the rhythm of posting.
Mhm.
And then, you know, add in like conversations and following, because it just takes a while to get a good rhythm down. But it's a great platform. And what I find is Facebook, it tends to be where like lengthy conversations are happening, but Instagram is a great place for like the quick, like, get it girl kind of stuff like that, you know, and that can build relationships too in a way. Like if you're commenting on people's photos a lot and you're interacting with them a lot, it seems to build a relationship. So I think so far so good.
Do you post the same material that you're posting to Facebook, or do you post different stuff?
I usually do. And this is one of the things that Shailene said, you can, if you post something on Instagram, you can automatically have it post on Facebook, but Facebook knows that and doesn't prioritize it. So I copy and paste it over. I don't have an automatic feed, so I'll post it on one and then just copy and paste it into the other, usually, unless for some reason I don't think it would. Like I try not to do really long posts on Instagram because nobody on Instagram reads long posts. Like keep full words short. So if I've made a really long post on Facebook, I'll maybe shorten it up, or I won't use that one or something like that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
There's something else that Shailene talks about with using that if this then that. And I've set a couple of those up where if I post on my Good Life Sister page and I use a specific hashtag, it will post to Instagram automatically, but only if I use that hashtag.
Right.
Because there's certain, or vice versa, I forget. Because I maybe it's the other way around. If I post on Instagram with the hashtag Good Life, it posts to my Good Life Sister page.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I found that no, I was listening to her podcast about the if this then that. But I found that if I share posts from Instagram to Facebook, I get way less likes. So that's probably what you were saying, Laura, with the
Facebook
figured
just
it out.
doesn't put you as higher priority in the news feed if you do that. So it's better to just make a fresh post than they're tricked.
Another thing, adding on to that, where Facebook doesn't make it a priority, Janelle talked about this today too. Definitely start paying attention to the time of day, the day of the week, and the time of day that you're posting, because your post is Facebook is going to want your post to be shown in more news feeds if you get immediate likes and comments. So obviously you don't want to be doing your like big important posts at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday or something, when like not many people are going to see it. You know, you want to start paying attention to on Mondays, what time of day do I seem to get the most comments and likes? Tuesdays, like every day of the week. Maybe that's something that we should maybe add into the BAT or something so we can track it, or just, you know, add it to your list. But definitely something to consider, because that will help you show up more in people's news feeds.
Yeah, on your like page, you can see actually when when the people that follow you are on Facebook most and are looking at your posts most. So I've just been using those times for my personal page as well, because I figure they're probably roughly the same type of people that are. And so like 8 o'clock is like a huge spike for me. So I've been trying to post around 8 o'clock at night.
Me too.
And like nobody in like the 3 to 6 range at all. Like everyone's commuting and having dinner, and there's nobody that's on Facebook at that point in time except for me, because I'm always on.
Yeah, didn't Candace say the times were 8, 12, and 8?
Roughly, but it's different it can be different depending on your people. But yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. If you don't have a like page, or if you don't know, 8, 12, and 8 is a good. I think actually a little earlier than 8 is I'm like a 7 o'clock because by 8 o'clock most people are out the door and commuting. So I try to post like my workout pics by 7-ish or 7:30 so that they're out there and people see them before they leave for work.
Yay! Gee, this was lots of good info in here.
Yeah.
Way to go, team.
Good call.
Right. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Does anyone have anything else they want to add or any questions or anything?
Nope.
We're good.
Good call. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much, everybody. This was awesome. I'm going to start, upload it to YouTube, and depending on how long it takes to process, I'll either post it tonight or tomorrow in case anyone wants the recording. Thank you so much for joining and for all of your inputs. This was awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.